Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. I do love new build day, and that's exactly what we got today. We got the Agora Models release of build the 1961 Jaguar E-Type. Now this build is definitely going to hold a special place in my heart, because if you didn't know already, I got to ride in the one that this was sculpted on. And if you check this video up here, you'll be able to see my day at Jaguar Classic, where I got to see this absolutely brilliant car. And to say that I've been in it and I took 1,000 million photos, I'm telling you, so I'm hopefully going to be putting those in to the build so you can see exactly what we're building. It was an understatement. We had such a great day there. If you want to get this for yourself, there's plenty of options out there at the moment. Just check out the Agora Models website down here. You can join me on building this and this journey together. It's going to be an absolutely brilliant build. Over at Agora Models as well, you've also got the Super Snake, you've got the Cobra, you've got the Terminator, you've got the Bismarck, you've got the Zero Fighter, you've got the Routemaster bus, you've got the New York Fire Department truck. I think that's it. I'm probably missing someone, but check it out. You'll be able to see that for yourself, and you'll also see some of the options you can get when you're actually buying this Jaguar. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it and start with stage one. Let's get cracking. So before I show you the stages, I'm going to show you that we do get this lovely sort of like glasses cleaner material. Do you remember you get these with your spectacles? This is going to be great for getting rid of any smears or sort of like smudge stains on your windows or your metalwork. Absolutely brilliant. And you also get in the first stage a screwdriver looking like that. Now I am going to be using my own screwdriver because I'm comfortable using my own screwdriver, but you'll be able to do pretty much everything you see in here with this. You also get this guide to the build, which looks like that. And this is going to tell you all the dimensions of the vehicle. As you can see, it's 55 centimeters long, 15 centimeters high, 21 centimeters wide, looking just like that. It's approximately 7 kilograms. And as I says, where I can, I'll superimpose some of the pictures that I took from Jaguar Classic of the car so you can actually see for yourself. But this does double up into, probably a best on the side camera here, into an absolutely enormous poster. Looking like that. Brilliant. But let's do stage one. And as you can see here, stage one, we're starting the engine components, and we've also got the steering wheel here. So the first thing we're going to need is the exhaust cam cover, looking like that. You see you've got a shaped hole here, which is going to have the oil cap, which looks like that, which is going to marry up with that shape there. It's a keyhole pattern. So we're just going to be putting that in. So if it's perfectly flat on there, it's going to be held in from the other side with an AG02 screw. Once again, all these screws are labelled up in the pack. Now I thought I'd have a change of cutting mat today. So we've got a nice blue theme for this build. I think that's going to go well with the red car. But there we go, that's the oil cap on. We're going to be bringing over the cylinder head. This is what the cylinder head's looking like, and that is all metal. And we're going to be putting the first cam cover on. Now, you need to make sure when it's on that you've got some points here which are facing down. It does tell you in the instructions which ones they are, just so you can make sure that you're matching this off with the correct one. So you line up all the holes and just push that in. Now I'm just putting a little bit of oil just into these holes just to help this go in, because it is quite a tight fit in here. But you should be able to push that down so it looks like that. We're going to do the same on the other side here. Again, it doesn't tell you to do this in the instructions, just helping you out. Bit of oil just to here. The oil I use is just a general purpose 3-in-1 oil. So we put the other side in here. 1, 2, 3, and push that down. And there we go. They're both in place looking like that. So we're going to take the right cover here, cam cover here. That's just going to go on the right hand side. So it's going to go on this like that. And you just have to push that in. You don't have to attach that. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the left side and push that in here. The left side's the one with the cap on. There we go. Look, coming together already. And that's what we've done so far for the engine. Now we can put that to one side, because we've got a little bit to do on the steering wheel. And as you can see, the steering wheel is metal, very heavy as well. We have got the little emblems put in, so we're just going to match up the holes here or the lugs here with the holes here, making sure it's round the right way. I'll push this in and then show you a close-up of how that looks. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 2, I've got all the parts here to start assembling the carburettor. So we've got the manifold here looking like that. We're going to be attaching the throttle linkage, which is this section here, to this. That's just going to go into the ends here, so it looks like that, and it's going to be held in from the other side once again with AG02 screws. So you're going to have one on this side. Now when you go into plastic, just do it till it's hand tight. You don't have to over tighten it, because there is a risk you could round the actual thread here, which you don't want to do. So, and there we go. Just till it's tight like that, and there we go. That's going to be kept in place, no problems. Now we're going to be taking this metal shaft now, and that's going to be going into the holes above that throttle linkage that you saw there. So there's some small holes either side, so it goes in one side and the other once I've got it lined up. There you go, and put that all the way through. Now it has got a stop on one end, so when you put it through, it can't go any further. That is all there is to do in that stage. Now you have got 3 suction chambers here that we also need to keep safe for a later stage. So in stage 3, once again, we're going to continue assembling the carburettor. These are the parts that we get in that. Just going to put them to one side. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take what we worked on in the last stage and we're going to piece these 2 sections together. So they are now one unit. So they look just like that. We've got 2 screws to put in here. This time these are AG03 screws. Now all the screws you need at the moment are coming in the pack that your parts come with. But here's the first one. And here is the second one, looking like this. Turn it back over and we want to take one of the suction chambers that we had from the last stage and we're going to be pushing that into the like hole that we've got there. So that's going to be sitting in like that, held in from the other side this time with an AG02 screw. So there we go, that's that one going in. That's the first suction chamber on. We're going to repeat that with all the other ones. So here's the second one. They're all the same, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. And then held in from the other side with an AG02 screw. Now unfortunately I've only got pictures of the engine from the prototype of this model, because even though I've seen the car and drove around in the car, I was so hyped up I didn't ask to look at the engine. So but things like the interior, the dashboards, that sort of thing, I've got loads of pictures of that. But believe me, as I said, it was one of those that I've got a smile on my face just thinking about it. But there we go. That's all of those in there. What we want to do now is we want to take the air balance pipe, which looks like that. We're going to be aligning that with the 3 holes that we got here. Now this goes this way round, just into the holes that you can see there. Certainly building up, this is looking good. Once again, that's going to be held in with AG02 screws from the other side. Turn it over. As you can see, we've got 3 screws this time. One in there. One in the middle. And finally, just this one on the end here. This has just come out. I'm just going to push this back in. Turning this over, so you can see where I put the screw holes in. We've got a petrol feed pipe to put in, which looks just like that. And if I use the screwdriver that comes with this as a pointing device, you're going to see we've got some little sort of nipples here and here, which is going to help you line this up to where this goes. This actually pushes over those. So one in this side here. This is one of those times where I am using my magnifying glasses to help me out here. Now it is quite a loose fit, so if you need to put a spot of glue on here, then by all means do that. Now I am going to put just a touch of glue just on the pin in the middle there. That will ensure everything else holds in place really neatly. And then you've got, don't forget, the pin at the end here that you want to put this in, and that will make sure that that's held in quite securely. Now notice I didn't glue all of those. I've only glued the middle one because I know that's going to hold all the rest of these in place. So that should look like that. Then all we need to do is take the air cleaner. Look at that. That's going to go this way round with these details pointing to the front here. And as you can see, we've got 2 holes at the bottom, which those lugs are going to be pressed into. So line that up and then push that all the way down. So now that looks just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 4, you've got these parts here. We're going to start assembling the engine block. So first thing we need to do is take the starter motor. Whoops, this is what the starter motor looks like. And that's just going to go into the keyhole pattern that we can see there. So it can only fit in one way. That's going to go in just like that. Held in from the other side here with an AG03 screw. Again, these screws come in this pack. I love New Build Day. I'm so excited to be building this one. We've been waiting a long time for it. Now it's here. Oh, it's great. So there we go. That's in place. And then we've got the distributor looking like that. All ready for some points to go in the top there, I believe. That's going to go into the keyhole pattern that we see there. So once again, just line up the tab there. Put that in. Turn it upside down. Once again, held in with an AG03 screw. I wonder if AG stands for Agora. What do you think? I think it might do. There we go. That's in place. Now we're going to take the carburetor assembly that we've been working on previously. Having it this way up here, that's going to go into the holes that we can just see along there. So when we put this in, it's going to fit in like that. It's going to be held in on the other side with AG03 screws. So you've got 3 holes on that side. Get the first one in. I've gone for the middle one first because that should hold that in place now, so I can get the other 2 screws in on each side. And there you go. That looks absolutely brilliant. And that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 5, we're going to be assembling the assembly box 2, and this time we've got the battery box. Now this is going to power the vehicle eventually. It looks like we've got cell batteries going in there. This is labelled number 1. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to be taking that battery box and we're going to be mounting this inside the engine into this gap here. As you can see, you've got 2 holes, 2 lugs. That's just going to go over the top, just like that, held in once again with our favourite AG03 screw. So put that in there. Excellent. Now the batteries it's going to take, so you can prepare for that, LR44 batteries. I did have some, but I think I've run out, so I'm going to need to order some more to get those in there. We can put that to one side and bring over the part that we worked from last time, because we've got the filter head, which looks like that, which we're going to be putting into the vehicle. Their keyhole pattern there, that's just going to mirror what we've got on this as well. As you can see, we've got a keyhole pattern there, so we're just going to put that down just like that. And once again, from the other side there, that's held in with an AG03 screw. Excellent. And that is all there is to do so far in that stage. Quite a fiddly one we got now. We're going to be assembling the fan belt and the electrics. Lots of fiddly parts here, so make sure you do a quick inventory just to check you've got everything you need. 3 packs of screws. There we go, looks like that. Put this to one side, and the first thing we need is the ignition coil here, and we've got an ignition lead looking like that. Now that's just going to go into the slot that we can see just at the side there. Then we're going to be biting that together with the top here. Make sure we put this around the right way. So this goes over the top, so that closes in that section there. I mean, just look at that, just the detail on the coil. That's excellent. We're going to be holding this together with a screw on this side, and that's an AG02 screw. Got one here, let's put that through. And there we go, that's the coil assembled. We're going to bring over the engine block that we've been working on, because this is going to go into this section just here. Now, as you can see, we have got a locating lug on this, so that's just going to go over this side. That's going to be held in with an AG02 screw just from the other side here, just like that. And there you go, that's the coil in place. We've then got the engine breather to put on. You're probably going to need some tweezers for this. Hold it at the top, and that's going to go into the two holes that we can see just under the coil, and push this into place like that. And then once we've got it where we want it, we're going to turn it upside down and secure it into place once again with an AG02 screw just from the underside. So I'll give you a close-up of that. That's what that should look like when it's in. Then you've got the two screws on the underside. Quite fiddly, that one. Okay, we've got the belts now. This is what the belts are looking like, and the pulleys, and this is going to go onto the timing chain cover here. So we have got some locating lugs here as well to line up. So I'm just going to line up the keyhole pattern here with the one on this side. Make sure that's fully secure, and that the top pulley here is through the hole. There we go. Turn it over. Once again, that's going to be held in with an AG03 screw. So far we've used 2 screws on this build, and the AG03 ones are just bigger ones of the AG02. So if after this build you've got screws hanging around, you know the difference between them. But there we go. That's in. Then on this section just down the bottom, we've got a dynamo to put in, and once again it's got a keyhole pattern. It's going to match the shape on there. So that's going to go in like that. And we're going to be screwing this in with an AG03 screw all the way down the top there. So you do need to make sure you've got a good magnetized screwdriver to hold that, so we can get that all the way down. And then put that into place. We then got a cap to put over the top of that. That's just going to push into place. Once again, it has got a shape. I do like this because it is pretty obvious how things go. That just pushes on like that. We've got the large pulley here, which is going to take out the other side here. So over this side here with the rim facing up, we're going to be putting that on the bottom one. Piecing that together. So it looks like that. Once again, we're going to hold that in with an AG03 screw. There we go. Nice and tight. And there we go. That's how that looks. So in this stage, we've done this. And we've done the section on the end of the engine block. Some brilliant details in the last pack here. Look at this. I love that pipe work there. But we're going to be working on the exhaust and the ignition system. So we're going to be taking the engine block and gearbox housing that had the battery pack installed. And we've got the manifolds here, which are going to be going on either side. So the first one, which looks like this, is going to go into these holes. Should match up perfectly with the holes that we've got there. And then the second one is going to be going on the other side, just like this. Get that in there, like that. And both of those are screwed in with AG03 screws. Turn it over. It's only 2 screws, one for each manifold. So here's the first one. Again, make sure it's tight, but you don't need to over tighten it. Just enough so these bond together perfectly and look just like that. Now we're going to start to fit both of the sections of the cylinder head together. So we need to take this wire here and we need to route it out of the vehicle. Now this is going to be going through the gearbox housing here, and it's going to go out of this bottom hole at the bottom, like that. Bottom hole at the bottom. Look at me. So there we go. So that'll be in place. Now to help that, I've actually just traced it through those 2 points there as well. That's going to keep that all in place for when we put the top on. So then we have got the top section here, which I said is all metal. That's just going to go over the 2 lugs there, like that. And we're going to secure that in with AG03 screws. And I'm aware my wires move. Don't worry, I will put that in afterwards. So there's one. And we've got one this side. Excellent. Then we're going to take the pulley system that we worked in the last stage and it's going to go this way with a larger pulley to the bottom. And as you can see, we have got a screw hole here. When this goes in, it's going to fit just like this, and it's actually going to be kept in place with a screw. And that is an AG05 screw. Now that should have been put in the other stage. You should already have that in. But me being me, I'm putting it in now. Just to keep that in place. You probably would have had to loosen it anyway to get it on there. But there you go. Once you're happy with that, that's sitting in perfect. The AG05 screw is a flange screw there. And then once again, make sure you definitely tidied this wire up, because you're not going to get a chance next time, because we're now going to be piecing together the other half of the engine here. So once again, make sure your wire's tidy, because we're now going to be piecing together both of these sections here over the top, so that fits perfectly into place. Wow, that engine just like created itself just by doing that. That's amazing. Okay, I'm going to get the AG03 screws out that we need to bond these together. And it's going to take 3 screws here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the middle one first, which is probably best on the top camera, just down here. That will ensure that's nicely bonded together. And then we've got one here and one on the other side. Now again, make sure that your cable is coming out of the right hole at the bottom before you bond those in, this bottom hole here. Again, I know you'll be tempted to do this as tight as you possibly can. Just don't do that. You don't need to. Just enough till it's all closed up like that. So there we go. That's that bonded together. We've done quite a lot so far. Just put my throttle linkage back in. And now we've got all of this pipe work here to put in. Now all of these pipes are going to go into the holes that you can see just in the middle of these 2 sides here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe there is. So probably best again get your magnifying glasses for this, and you're also going to need your tweezers. So I'll push the first one in, that's in place, and then I'm going to work down getting all the rest of these into the corresponding holes. So that's, so far I've got 3 in. Let's do the last 3. 4, 5 and 6. So there we go, they're all in place looking like that. Now my OCD is telling me to have the plugs sort of all going in the same direction, so that's what I'm going to do. Doesn't tell you to do this, but this is me. It'll keep me awake at night. Now you'll still have the cluster of connectors loose at this end. As you notice, the actual block to this is on the outside edge with the oil cap there. Now we're going to be taking the lead from the coil, and we're going to be putting that into the distributor. Now this is going to go right down the center one of the distributor. So I'll put this in. Should be able to see this on the close-up camera. I've got my tweezers here, and just push that in like that. So as you can see, that's in place. And then we're going to be fitting the cluster of leads here around all the other points of this distributor. Now there's no firing order in this because they are batched together, so it's not really going to matter which ones you put them in. But I'll put them all in and show you what that looks like. And there we go. As you can see, all of those points are in the distributor. That is a much cleaner way of doing the HT leads, I have to say. I really do like that. Now we've got a very tiny piece, as you can see here, which is a rev counter generator connector, which I'm going to get out here. Very tiny it is. And that's going to go into the hole that you can see here. Now, with these tiny parts, you've got this inherent risk of when you try to push it in, of them pinging off and you never finding it again. Like just happened there, but I happened to see where it went. It's a very tiny piece, looking like this. So, it's actually going to go into the hole that we've got just there. So what I'm going to do is get my glasses on. Once again, I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there just to ease how this goes in. Hold the part quite firmly in my tweezers. It's got 2 points at the top and 1 at the bottom. And then gently, rather than just going to town and pushing this in, I'm going to gently push it in like that. Now saying that, on my one I didn't have to use oil. That went in really easy. So I am actually going to take mine out, I think. And I'm going to put a spot of glue in there because I really don't want to lose that. You can use your judgment on that. So there we go. That's in. And that looks absolutely perfect. And that is all there is to do in pack 1. So as you can see, we've done quite a bit of the engine just in the first pack. We've also got the steering wheel here. But there you go. What do you think of that, huh? Pack 1. Check that out. The engine's looking great at the moment. I'm pretty thrilled what we do in these first packs. They do open it up, but obviously we're doing the engine first. Now, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, put the link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. Loving this build, taking memories back for when I got to riding it. I can't wait to see this assembled at pack 12. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.